right, so although I wake up around 8 o'clock, I do eat my first meal of the day, breakfast, which is also my pre-workout meal, right around noontime. It's a little past noon right now, so it's time to get that meal ready. But I'll give you a little idea of why I do that and where I'm at. So while I am not cutting right now, I'm also not on like a true bulk. Right now, I'm sort of in like a gaintaining phase to get myself set up for competition later on this year. Basically, I want to maintain my weight at around an athletic body fat, which leaves me a little bit hungry. So keeping a smaller feeding window by having my first meal around 12 o'clock and my last meal around 8 o'clock at night makes it so that I have some larger meals and it's just a little more satiating and satisfying that way. Doing it this way also gives me the chance to have a nice, big, hearty pre-workout meal. So I'll show you what's in that. I have about a cup of oats, 2 large bananas, 2 tablespoons of PB2, and true plant protein. I have the natural banana maple muffin flavor, which is freaking delicious. 2 scoops of that. And I call this Proats, just protein and oats. Also, I do start off with any greens powder will do. The one I have right now on hand is Greener Grasses by Health Force, and I'll do a serving of that just to get some nutrition in. I'll mix that up over here. And then I'll do some vitamins in the morning. I have B vitamin, multivitamin. The multivitamins by Deva, the B vitamins by Sundown Naturals, some Cell Block 80 from Clean Machine, and just some zinc from Solgar. So nothing too special, but yeah, let's get this whipped up and let's get a meal down the hatch. I'll throw the oats and the banana and the PB2 in. I like putting a little bit of vanilla extract as well for some more flavor, and some cinnamon. The protein powder I'll mix in last once everything's cooked. All right, this is cooked. Man, it smells good. I gotta say, you definitely work your appetite up waiting a couple hours to eat in the morning, but it does make it so that you're more full throughout the day. We'll mix some protein powder, and just a little pro tip, I do cook the oats with a little bit of extra water in them. That way the protein mixes a little better in the proteins. Oh yeah, and I do like to mix a little bit of soy milk in there, so it's a little extra creamy. Now, because this is a pre-workout meal, it's gonna be super low in fat, super high in carbs, and we're getting a nice amount of protein in for performance and recovery. And at the end of the video, I'll recap and I'll give you an idea of just how much you eat calorically to maintain during the off season. All right, let's get this meal in the hatch. Vitamins, greens, and then we'll dig into this nice, quick, calorically dense meal to get fueled up. All right, so before I get into what I'm eating during the day, I'll give you a little idea of how I plan out my week. While I do like to eat a wide variety of foods, I do have certain staples that I gravitate towards. So at the end of each week, to prepare for the next week, I batch cook a grain, a bean. I make sure to shop for my fruits and my vegetables, and then I pick out some healthy fats like peanut butter or avocado. Now each week I'll have a variety, like I'll switch it up basically. So one week maybe I'll have bananas and apples, the next week I'll have, say, berries and peaches. One week I'll have lentils and kamut. Another week I'll have red beans and rice. You get the idea. So I got a nice pot of lentils over here, you can see that. I'm gonna cook them in an Instant Pot. Super easy to use. It's basically a pressure cooker. You just pop it in there, put the settings, forget about it, and then 20-30 minutes later, you're good to go and you have lentils for the week. All right, it's about 4 o'clock, just got back from the gym, and my hunger is, I'm ravenous, all right? So post-workout is when I will actually choose not just foods that are nutritious, I will also choose foods that are voluminous and just super satiating, and just put that all together because I'm like a bottomless pit after I train. Anyhow, tofu, block of tofu, about 2.5 potatoes, and about half a bag of frozen broccoli. And I'm gonna just season this up and cook it up real fast, and then I'll show you what it looks like in a little bit. Broccoli, I'm gonna pop in the microwave. It's nice and fast. Put that in there, about six minutes should do. All right, I got my potatoes cubed as fast as I possibly could. I'm gonna throw some garlic powder in there and some onion powder, a little bit of pepper, and some salt. Bake them in the oven at like 450 for say 20 minutes, and I should be good to go. All right, while those potatoes are cooking, I'm gonna make myself some tofu. Press the water out with some paper towels. And I'll cut it up into some cubes, and then just lightly season it. I mix it up, but right now I'm gonna use some Italian seasoning and some garlic salt. And I'll just sprinkle it on the top of it on a lightly sprayed pan. Then I'll set the oven to broil, and I'll do like 10 minutes on each side. All right, broccoli's done. This one, I keep it real simple. I'll just put a little bit of soy sauce in there. That's the way I like my cooked broccoli. And there you have it, post-workout meal. And there you have it, post-workout meal done right. Broccoli, tofu, and potato with a little bit of ketchup. All right, I'm gonna have to let you go because I gotta down this thing. All right, so I finished my post-workout meal around 4:30. I'm not gonna eat dinner and dessert until around 8 o'clock. That's usually when I finish my last meal for the day. I like a little snack in between while I'm working. I keep it real simple. I have a bowl over here of some beans and grains. I got lentils going on and some millet. And then other than that, I'll have a couple squares of chocolate because I'm a chocoholic, what can I say? A little something sweet, you know, while I work. And if I'm hungry, you know, and I don't want to eat, I'll have a dessert tea like this one right over here from Celestial Seasonings. Final 2 meals of the day. Nice heartier bowl of grains, beans, some tomato and avocado in there, and I'll throw some capers and some seasonings in to make it extra delicious. But there you go, nice and simple. And then afterwards, I will get right into dessert, and then I'll finish off my night with something sweet, some fruit, and some ice cream. I'll drizzle a little bit of peanut butter on there. My favorite ice cream is Nanamu, but I like to switch it up. But usually I have some Nanamu on hand. If you can find this stuff, get your hands on it. It's freaking awesome. So for those of you who are curious, to keep me at an athletic body fat range, which for me is around 185 to 190 pounds, 5'10", I would say medium frame, we're looking at about 3,000 calories, roughly 500 grams of carbs, 85 grams of fat, 200 grams of protein. I will say that every person is different. So just because you have the same body type as someone else doesn't mean you're gonna have the same metabolism. My metabolism, I would say, is above average to speedy. I wouldn't say it's like super speedy, but that's pretty much what I'm working with. And that's largely determined by genetics, but it could also be modified through diet and exercise by gaining muscle, basically, which is what I'm doing right now. And as I was mentioning earlier, my structure for meals are it's basically the same. I have my fruit, oats, and protein in the morning. That's pre-workout, first meal around noon. Post-workout's around 4, and I'll have, you know, my potato, my tofu, and my veggies. Then I'll have a little bit of snack in between my post-workout, which I guess lunch, and dinner and dessert. And that meal will be a grain and a bean and a couple squares of chocolate and maybe, you know, some tea or some more coffee or whatever. Dinner and dessert, as you saw, you know, it's a bean and a grain again, possibly some veggies, depending if, you know, if I'm hungry or whatever. And then dessert, ice cream and fruit, or just fruit. And that's pretty much it. So the types of fruits that I eat, the types of vegetables that I eat, the types of grains and beans that I eat, those do change. And sometimes I'll throw peanut butter and avocado into the mix or whatever, but for the most part, the structure stays pretty much the same. If I find that I need to bulk and gain at a faster rate, I'll have a meal earlier in the morning, or if I'm full and I can't eat, I obviously will increase my feeding window so I can fit more food in, and then alternatively, I'll choose more voluminous foods if I need a cut, and I'll perhaps even space my meals out a little more, have 3 meals instead of 4 meals in an 8-hour feeding window. So that's pretty much it for me. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you liked it, hit the subscribe button. And yeah, stay in touch. Let us know what other kind of videos you want us to put out. We'll keep doing this thing every week. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.